Well, thank you so much for taking the time to tune into LVSO Live here in Las Vegas. We've got a great show for you tonight. You're going to go behind the scenes of the Las Vegas Symphony Orchestra. We're talking to the entertainers and the folks really running things behind the scenes. Trust me, it's a show you don't want to miss. Hello everyone, I'm Faven Kay and you're tuned in to LVSO Live here in Las Vegas, and today I'm joined by Mr. Scott Bolan, Director of Communications for LVSO. So we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty about how things operate around here. So first question, how did you come to be a part of LVSO?
My background, it's interesting. I do speaking like Tony Robbins, right? But my background has always been music. My life has been music. So when I was 18 years old, I had actually signed up to join the Army, the military. But I promoted, and if I had gone into basic and gone in the military, which I love the military, I love our country, I would have come out of basic training with $3,000 and a college thing. So in one night, I booked a show in Hollywood and I made $1,000 in a single night. So I said, wait a minute, 9 months of basic training for $3 grand versus one night? I said to the recruiter, I'm sorry, right? My path is chosen.
Absolutely.
So music came to me at a very young age. And then I went on, I sang in the Santa Barbara Symphony Orchestra, Beethoven's Ninth. I can still remember to this day under Varujan Kojian, the director, Beethoven's Ninth. I can still remember the German lyrics. I sang, I produced, I managed the Bay City Rollers. We toured the world. I produced 3 albums. This is just, my life has always just been magnetically drawn to music. And so Shay and I met, I think at Masters of Illusion, I think it was. Our mutual friend Greg Gleason, the magician at Masters of Illusion. Isn't that where we met? I met Shay Arender, the CEO of the Las Vegas Symphony Orchestra, and we hit it off instantly, and we've never stopped talking music since. Music is healing, it's energy, music is life, and I think without music, we don't have life. And so that's just, it's the magic of life, it's the essence of life.
And so how great is it to be able to combine, your passion for music into your role as Director of Communications? I mean, not too many people have the luxury of being able to combine doing what they love into an actual profession.
Right. Well, it's a joy, it's a pleasure, and it's the funnest thing to work in doing what you love. And we do different things, like I'll be negotiating and communicating with our sponsors, or with rock acts. For example, a few years ago, we were negotiating with Kiss, the rock band Kiss, to do a symphony. Although it didn't come through, we spent countless hours in discussion and negotiation of how we were going to do it. So I was talking with their manager, we met with Gene Simmons, we got to just work on these creative ideas. It's like art, because you have a concept, and if you bring it to life, it's just magical. And that one we're working on a few now, as you know, with Bobby, with the Motown show, and there's a few that we can't speak of yet because the lines aren't quite.
The ink isn't dry just yet.
The ink isn't dry just yet. Exactly. But that was one that got so close and almost have, but it's still just so much. It's not only fun. It's I don't call it work. I just call it's creation. It's passion, and to bring these ideas to life and connect the symphonic world with the pop world, because we're not doing a Bach or Beethoven. We're bringing you Motown. We're bringing you rock, but as a symphony, and so it brings together both worlds.
And so tell me a little bit about your day-to-day roles. What that entails?
That entails negotiations with our sponsors, negotiations with artists, such as like I mentioned, Kiss, or different acts who are legendary acts, or just bringing together artistic concepts, like where are we going to do we're working on another King Symphonic. As you know, Shay Arender does the King Symphonic with the Elvis, which is not an impersonation. It's a tribute. I mean, you close your eyes and you can't tell the difference. I mean, it's incredible. And so those are the kinds of things we work on around the world. So we might be doing this in London, or in Ireland, or in Italy. We're working on different shows around the world, and we're bringing together something that it bridges the gap of generations, because a symphony is sophisticated, it's eloquent, it's elegant, but then you're bringing over rock and pop, right? So you're bringing together the best of both worlds. So you have a mature generation that understands a symphony, and then you have a young generation that understands rock or pop. And when you bring that together, it's dynamic.
And do you find that that probably brings together a very diverse crowd, right? A very diverse audience.
Yes, it does. Yes, absolutely, because you'll get the Motown fan. I mean, I don't care if you're 18, I don't care if you're 8, 18, or 80. The moment you hear Motown, you're home. You know, you're just instant. And then to add a symphony to that is just incredible. It's magic.
And so in the age of, you know, electronics and, you know, you have the auto tunes, what do you think makes, you know, the symphony so special and kind of set it apart?
I would say because it's organic. You hear of organic food, and there's such a difference in the taste and the flavor because it's real. No disrespect to electronic artists and autotune, because I understand there's space for that. For example, years ago, when I was also managing the Rollers, I actually would book the 2 Live Crew. And that's controversial, right? But Mr. Mix was a DJ where he would scratch like with the turntables. Imagine Eddie Van Halen on his guitar. Well, the same thing with those records. That was real. I mean, he was an artist. And so when you bring an organic sound that's not necessarily electronic, it's a string instrument or a wind instrument, you know, whether we have a flute or we have a violin, those things are organic and timeless. They're hundreds of years old instruments, if not thousands. And it brings just a natural timelessness, a timeless sound that it's like a classic. It's like looking at a vintage Rolls Royce, right? So you get a natural organic sound that just can't compare to something computer made. It's very different, and it's art, and it's beautiful.
Before I get to this question, because you know, obviously 2020 is a much different year than we've ever seen before.
Right.
So how do you continue to do what you do given current circumstances, you know, dealing with not being able to maybe have that live audience, at least here in Las Vegas right now? How do you bring the symphony to people? Because, you know, music, like you mentioned, it's so healing, and we need more of that.
Yes.
And so, you know, how are you able to do this right now?
Well, what we're doing is planning to bring this around the world. We're in the fall now of 2020, so we're looking at 2021 for our next events. Right, we're looking at next year. We know that there is a time for live music to come back, and so we're in preparation for that. In the meantime, our CEO Shay Arnder has recorded. We've put together 2 albums, a symphonic album. One is an EP of I believe 5 or 6 songs of original material, so that we can release this music on every digital platform worldwide. The LVSO so we've recorded 2 albums, and we've also done a King Symphonic album. So we've got these albums so that we can reach people on the streaming platforms digitally, right? And until we can reach them live again. And when we record in the studio, it's live. We have all the violins. We have everyone with like 30 people in the studio. So you're getting the same sound. We're not doing this on a laptop, right? It's live. So we've recorded 2 albums during this year that we're releasing digitally. By the end of the year, I think January will be the first one, if I remember right. January is our first release date. So we've recorded albums so that we can bring the music to people. Because, you know, if you're at home or if you're driving to work, you're gonna hit your favorite, whether it's what is it, Spotify or whatever.
Spotify, iTunes, all those. Yeah,
exactly. Every platform. And we're there. We're there bringing that music and bringing that live sound recorded in the studio, but recorded live. So you actually get kind of the same experience a little bit. Just slightly different from being there in person.
Yeah, and certainly having, you know, to change with the times, and just life is a constant change, you know. Over the years, I'm sure you've gone through many different waves of the music industry and how to present music and live, you know, concerts. Yeah. So this is just another one of those adjustments that you've had to make.
Yeah. And so either way, even if there wasn't a shutdown or a pandemic, we're still producing albums, and we've had to lay back on the concerts, the live concerts, obviously, gatherings together, but that will come back. That will come back, and we're planning for that. We're planning on bringing the magic, absolutely. We're also going to film one of our concerts for a DVD release soon, so we have that in the works as well.
So folks have a lot to be excited about.
Yeah.
Get ready for.
Absolutely.
What would you like to leave the audience with today before we let you go?
I want the audience to have that sense of magic when you have a symphony, when you hear those strings, the violins, and the things all coming together. It's a timeless place, and it's a moment of not only escape but inspiration. It's inspiring. You know, there's something about it that matter of fact, Beethoven's Ninth, which I sang, was called the Ode to Joy. And it's a lifting up of the spirit. And so I would want the audience's spirit to be lifted. I think lifting the spirit, because we're all, life is a battle, we're all struggling. So music gives us healing, it gives us inspiration, it gives us joy. So I would like them to be left with inspiration.
Thank you so much, Scott, for taking the time to sit down with us today. We know you're a very busy man.
Thank you.
So we will let you get back
Awesome.
to it.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on LVSO Live. We had a wonderful day with you all. If you like what you see, go ahead and drop us a comment. Please subscribe, like, and share this video with your friends, and we'll see you next time.